Hello friends, this video on laws of motion part 24 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos from part 1 to part 23 before going ahead with part 24. Now let us study the motion of a car on a banked road. When I say banked road, I mean to say that the road itself is constructed in such a way that it is inclined at some angle with the actual horizontal. Let us suppose this is the actual horizontal and this is angle theta. So this road itself is inclined at some angle theta with the horizontal. In the previous slide, we talked about level road, where the road was completely plain from when we compare it to the normal horizontal. But here you will normally see these kind of roads when you travel up hilly areas. There you would see that the outward of the roads are generally inclined a bit up when compared to the inner side of the road. So when a car normally moves along this kind of curved path, so we will study the motion for such paths, that is for such banked roads. So let us draw the diagram here. Let us suppose this is the car of mass m. It makes some angle theta here. So let us suppose the weight which is acting downward would be mg. The normal reaction would act normal to the surface of contact. So this would be n. Now if this angle is theta, we can say this would be n cos theta. So this is theta. If this is n cos theta, this would be n sin theta. Correct? Now there would be a force of friction which would act along this direction. Let us say we denote it by small f. Now if this is small f and this is theta, this entire thing is 90 degree. So if this is 90, this is theta, this will also become theta. So this angle will also become theta. So if this is f, so this will be f cos theta. Correct? Now that we have drawn the free body diagram for this vehicle which is moving on a banked road, now let us write the equation of motion. Let us write the equation of motion in vertical direction. Like let us suppose this is my y-axis now. This is my y-axis and this is my x-axis. Correct? So let us write it in the vertical direction. So in vertical direction, what would be the equation of motion? It would become, now see, if this is f cos theta, this will again become f sin theta. Right. So in the vertical direction, it would be, let us suppose when the car, if the car is at rest, in that case, in this direction, it would become n cos theta is equal to f sin theta plus mg. So that is n cos theta is equal to f sin theta plus mg. Now in the horizontal direction, that is along this direction, we can say n sin theta plus f cos theta is equal to this n sin theta plus f cos theta in this case will provide the centripetal force. So we can say this will be equal to Fc. That is the centripetal force which is equal to mv square by r. In the previous case also we saw that the force of friction provided the centripetal force. In this case a component of the force of friction as well as a component of the normal reaction both together provide the centripetal force which makes the car move in a curved path. So we get these two equations of motion. Now let us try to solve the two equations. Now we already know that F is less than equal to mu s into n. That is force of friction, that is Fs is less than equal to mu s into n. So for velocity to start, that means for the body to move, the value of F should be its maximum value and the maximum value is mu s into n. Now we will put this value of F in the above two equations. So what do we get? We get n cos theta is equal to mu s n sin theta plus mg and then n sin theta plus mu s n cos theta is equal to mv square by r. Now let us mark this equation as 1 let us say this equation as 2. Now from the first equation, that is from equation 1, we can say n cos theta. Just note that although the equation seems to be very big, but it is nothing but simple mathematical calculations. So this is equal to mg. So from equation 1, what we are trying to do, we are trying to write n in terms of all other terms. So this will be equal to mu s divided by cos theta minus mu s sin theta. So this is what we get the value of n. Now we put this value of n in equation 2. When we put this value of n in equation 2, then what do we get? Get mg sin theta divided by cos theta minus mu s sin theta plus mu s n cos theta. I'm sorry, here also you'll have to put the value mu s. Instead of n, it would be mg divided by cos theta minus mu s sin theta. This is equal to mv square by r. Now we'll solve it. mg sin theta plus mu s cos theta divided by cos theta minus mu s sin theta. This is equal to mv square by r. So we found mg sin theta plus mu s cos theta divided by cos theta minus mu s sin theta is equal to mv square by r. Now to simplify the calculations, let us divide the numerator as well as denominator by cos theta. So what do we get? We get mg tan theta plus mu s divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. This is equal to mv square by r. I'm sorry, this is small r. So m gets cancelled. So we can say v square is equal to rg tan theta plus mu s divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. Or we can say the maximum velocity is equal to root over r mu s plus tan theta divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. So here we see the maximum velocity of the vehicle in a circular path on a banked road would be given by this value. So in the previous slide, we saw the maximum velocity that a vehicle can have in a circular path when it is moving on a level road. So in this case, this is the value of maximum velocity if the vehicle is moving on a banked road. Why is it the maximum velocity? Because if you go back to the previous slide and check, if you go back to the beginning of this calculation itself, you would see that we considered that if the velocity, when the velocity will be maximum, in that case, the friction, the value of static friction will be equal to mu s into n. So we started deriving this relation taking into consideration that the value of static friction is its maximum value. So when value of static friction would be the maximum value, then the velocity will also be maximum. So that is how we get the value of maximum velocity to be this much. Now we will go ahead and have a comparison between the two cases. So if you compare this value with the previous value, you will find that the velocity is greater for banked roads than level roads. That is why in many of the hilly areas, the roads are constructed slightly banked, so that the velocities of the cars while taking the turn is more. So we find that the value of Vmax in case of banked roads is greater than the value of Vmax in case of level roads. Now we will look at a special case of motion of car on a banked road. So what is that special case? Let us say if the value of mu s in the expression which we derived just now for Vmax, let us say if mu s is equal to 0. Mu s is equal to 0 would mean that there is no friction, right? So if there is no friction, then what would be the value of Vmax if you put the value of mu s to be 0? Now what we derived the formula to be Vmax is equal to R into G mu s plus tan theta divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. Now if mu s is equal to 0, in that case this value would become root over Rg tan theta. This would become the value of maximum velocity. So what do we infer from this? We mean to say that when speed is Vmax, that is no frictional force. That means when there is no frictional force, in that case the maximum velocity of the vehicle is equal to this much. So in this case, the centripetal force is given only by the normal reaction, only by the component of normal reaction and not by the frictional force. So when let us say we denote this value of Vmax as V0. So when the velocity of the car is V0, in that case no frictional force is needed to provide the centripetal force. So who will provide the centripetal force? Centripetal force will be provided by the component of the normal reaction. Which component of normal reaction? That is n sine theta. Go back to the derivation and see the first relation, you would come to know. So the centripetal force would be provided by this component of normal reaction. However, when this is the velocity, that is when there is no friction at all, and in those cases little wear and tear of tires take place. So that is one kind of disadvantage. So what did we observe by studying the motion of a car on a level road as well as banked road? We found that the maximum velocity that a car can have on a circular path is more in case of a banked road when compared to a level road. We also found that in such circular motion, the centripetal force is the one which is responsible for the car to move in circular motion, and this centripetal force is provided by the force of friction in case of level roads, and it is provided by centripetal, and it is provided by the component of normal reaction and component of frictional force in case of banked roads. Before that, let's have a comparison between motion along level and banked. As I already told, the maximum velocity of a car in circular motion is greater on banked roads than on level roads. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.